It is often said that offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And there's no better example of this in Overwatch than the Shanghai Dragons. And in this new series, The Perfect Defense, we are going to look at multiple games in which Shanghai got a decisive advantage over their opponents using good defensive techniques. And defense is a lost art in this game. Like many teams beginning of the season, they just focused on, and in general, like teams are really obsessed on attacking. There are like a lot of attacking teams in the league, like in season 4, but only a few teams have truly mastered defense. And actually, no, only the Dragons have mastered defense. And today we're gonna look at how Dragons utilize defensive techniques to beat Shox's comp, to beat Shox's a Winston Rush comp on a map that Shock are historically really good at. It was a full hold, by the way, so this is gonna be good. So right here, Shock are gonna run like the Winston Rush comp. It's sometimes called Talon Dive, six-man dive, but Overwatch 2, obviously there's not gonna be 6 players. And Talon Dive, like it is kind of misleading because this comp is just like a brawl comp with like mobile heroes. Like in exchange for not being able to sustain on the point as well, you do get like extra burst damage to use and extra mobility. So that's how this comp plays out. But let's see like how dragons like defend this. And let's look at their initial defensive setup. We're gonna look at every player's positioning. First of all, like Izuyaki's gonna position like all the way back here because like he doesn't want to be like instantly like rushed. Like if he stands over here, then there's a risk that they just rotate, rush him, stabilize in here, and then like try to like force the point, or like rotate up here and try to force the point from there. Or like they can try like go the other direction and try to like, maybe burst down lip, or go for fate. But like by positioning here, Izuyaki does two things. First of all, he makes himself really safe against this type of comp because this comp, even though it does have some vertical mobility, like the backline can't really easily make it up, and like the DPS do need time to set up. So like there's gonna be plenty of time for Izuyaki to rotate if needed. And second, um, by positioning up here, like by positioning really safe, but still like in a good position, and it allows him to like maneuver around and look for like those clutch nades, those cheeky like angles which you can spam from, and you know, he has some self-sustain, like maybe like he can take the health pack here if needed, but that's gonna be unlikely. Like he can, at the worst case, he can just use nade, or Li Zhengdan can just rotate back to help him. That's fine. And Lipska position like over here. This is pretty standard for Ashe. It gives you like pretty long sight lines and like it's on high ground. And like you have like the cover option of just dropping onto the point. That's good. Um Fate's gonna position far forward, and like the reason he's positioning right here is Orisa doesn't really need to like position too far back. And like the good Orisas, they know how to teeter a line in between aggression and like still like staying like safe. So like Fate knows he has like Fortify, he has a healthy shield, which won't help him like survive that much, but the fact that he has Fortify gives him like a lot of HP, like effectively, like so like it's gonna be really hard to kill Fate with Fortify, so he knows that. So like he's gonna position here. He's actually going to like try to like bait them into engaging him, because if that happens, that just means that like Shanghai can just apply pressure everywhere, like from all angles, and like Shock actually do this, and like they get punished hard for it. And over here, Fate's holding the window, and the reason you want to have like someone here, like DPS of off tank, you need to have someone here is because you don't want anyone to use this. Because if they do, they get past the choke, they can force point, they can put point pressure, or they can have a good staging position to like do things on this side of the map. Or like, they could like try like sneak all the way around and into the back line. So you don't want that. You want to like have a tight hold. You want to have like a continuous like front line. You don't want any gaps in your defense. Like even putting one player in here is already like good enough because if they're running like some sort of ball comp for example with like an echo for example then or like a Winston comp for that matter with like an echo and heroes that can really get through like if an echo tracer then even if like they try to brute force their way through at least you're gonna have like early warning first of all at least you can poke them out a bit and like you can try to stall while like your team rotates to try to like clear this angle, but you at least need like something defending here, just so like they can stall, they can hold it, they can delay it, whatever. So that's why Void wants to be here instead of like closer to the supports. Like Izuyaki's already pretty safe. There's not an easy way for Shock to kill Izuyaki in this position. The only way that they can force it is like if they, fight on this half of the map, like here or like not even here, like on point, which is pretty hard because you need to like get all the way through here just to fight on this side. And remember, you're running this comp, you're not running regular brawl, so it isn't gonna be that helpful anyways. Like to force the point. And finally, we have Flood and Li Zhen gone. They're just like trying to get some early poke, and they're gonna rotate, use like these roofs to try to like stall them, like poke, try to like slow down the fight, and try to eventually like get something done. So right here, like we notice that this positioning is very like split, and this is really really good. And the reason is because like this comp can punish split targets, but first of all, like everyone on this like well except Izuyaki and Lip, like everyone in this comp is either like mobile or like really hard to kill. So they're not worried about like playing split at least in the poke phase. They want to like get their stuff done during the poke phase. They want to find like they want open opportunity and then like look to like use their cooldowns to try to like brawl. Like they don't want to like use their defensive cooldowns too early because that just opens opportunity. But like if they like use their cooldowns like you know after finding opportunity to look to like attack the enemy team, then that's gonna be really good. So like we're gonna see that decisiveness from Shanghai as well. So over here, like Shock are trying to make their way past the choke and try to like find stabilize over here and then potentially rotate to point, force like the support line to drop. That's gonna be like how they want to approach this fight. Like they could go like this way and like they could try to like make this weird rotation to the top. The only problem is that like we have to go through the choke where like they have the most power. So like you're gonna get picked off like right off the bat probably if you aren't careful with like managing DM and stuff. So, but like this is where like Shanghai split positioning really shines. So Izuyaki actually finds a nade and he times it during the rotation. And like as you can see, they're not Shanghai aren't giving like Shock too much respect. They're actually like attacking the rotations as much as possible. This is really important. You can't just let the enemy rotate for free. That's why, for example, in Volskaya first, you don't want to hold like back like on that high ground. You want to hold like imagine just like the point on Volskaya first, and like these are the high grounds. You don't want to hold here. You want to hold like forward. You want to hold like somewhere you can interrupt the rotation. Like why hold the high ground like so like tightly and give up so much space when you can just hold the rotation paths through the high ground? You can still use the high ground like to fight on point. Like if they're forced to like walk on the point, then you can use the high ground because it didn't clear it because you blocked the rotation path. But like that's the same thinking. Like they're gonna attack the rotations, and like if they try to like rush down, flood, or avoid, well, they just fly away. This comp can't really attack multiple players like at once unless they're grouped up. Like sure they can have Choyobin like try like you know try like attack another angle, for example, or like the DPS, but that's gonna be difficult in this comp because they're running a Moira and like they want to play like pretty stacked together. And also if they try like commit like all six on one target, that's just a huge waste of cooldowns because they're just gonna run away while like they're the rest of the team just tries to like punish that. So like can see, by attacking the rotations, Izayaki like gets an aid, and like they they get like a kill off of that. But like what Shanghai are doing right now is really interesting. Like they know that like by losing Diva, like Diva's like probably gonna die here. They know that by like losing Diva, they can't rotate anywhere. If they try to, they'll just get like pummeled. Like Diva's like essential in this comp basically to rotate. So like dragons know that Shock are basically a prisoner in this room. And like they're gonna try to like stall it out as much as possible. Like instead of like pushing this immediately, which does carry a bit of risk, like they could try to like end the fight right now. It's gonna be difficult because like you might get hacked and that might open an opportunity in your team's positioning here. So that's why they want to play it safe. Like they could like eventually go in and maybe try to like trade off one or two players, but Shanghai know that they don't have to do that because like they're stuck. They can't threaten anything. Like until like Choyobin comes back. Like they could even try to like prevent Choyobin and who is this? Okay. And they could also prevent Nero from trying like Nero has already gone through. Fate's trying to like harass Nero as much as possible, but they wanna like at least prevent Choyobin like from rejoining the fight. So they could just do that while like the rest of Shock are just stuck in this room. It's really hard to break out of like this like hold without a diva because you need the diva in the first place to move past open space. So there's that. So like Dragon's just gonna play defensively and look what Fate's eventually gonna do. So Fate's actually going to like they're actually gonna come back and hold the point while like Fleta's putting like poke pressure into them. Like now they're looking to go more aggressive, but like at the same time they're going defensive, if you know what I mean. And if they wait for it's a monkey's paw, like if they wait for like Troyobin, then sure they'll have an off tank, but they might be dead before they even get like Troyobin back. Because like look at all these angles and look at how aggressive Fleta and like Void are being. But like if they just try to like finish the fight right now, and like while they still have some cooldowns, then like they don't have an off tank, and dragons are perfectly set up for it. So dragons are putting them in a catch-22. There is no good option for Shock here. Like this is like the dream of like a defending team. Like it restricts their options so much that like any option you take is hopeless. That's called like in chess it's called zugzwang, but it's the same thing in Overwatch. Any move that like Shock takes is bad. It's a blunder. And Shock choose like the worst, like probably the worst of the blunders. They engage. They try to force the point. And that's just going to be an easy pick-off. Like, look at Super here. Still no cooldowns. Like, he entered with no cooldowns. He died with no cooldowns. So he couldn't even plot them. And, like, now, Shanghai are just going to attack. Like, really decisively. Like, Fate's even gonna try to pincer. And like, Shock, they bafflingly try to push into this. They think that like it's winnable. Like that's no. Like Shanghai were like really smart at saving their cooldowns and saving their HP. Like Fate still fortify. Void might have ran out of cooldowns because he had to like help with, peeling a bit, but like he has Diva Bomb. And like Lip's still like pretty safe, like without a tank to push him. Like Lip's still pretty safe. And like they could try to go for Izayaki, but like let's take a look at what they have. They don't have a main tank, which makes it easier for Izayaki to survive. Like there's nothing to like put pressure on like Izayaki like close range, and like force dragons appeal, which means that dragons basically get to like toy with the opponent. Despite having a diva, like which could like help like close the distance, they do need a main tank to actually like get something out of it. So they commit ults, but like Shanghai are now like just holding like these angles, and it's gonna be impossible to push into this angle. Like They could try to like try isolate Lip here, but like Lip has Lip is like still like on a good position. Lip still has like Coach Gun as well. Like Lip's probably gonna be their best bet of getting a kill, but they don't have a main tank first of all, and also that's just gonna allow and like this tunnel visioning is just gonna allow like the rest of this of like dragons just push into their backline. Remember, this comp can't get up; it can only stay here. Like only Troy Open can get up here, and maybe FD gone or like if Glister uses Translocator, but speaking of Glister, he's here. So let's take a look at how Shanghai like adjusted their positioning though. This is a really important part of like keeping a poke defense. It's to it's to like always reposition and set up new angles as well. You need to do both. You can't do like can't just kite back in a line. So like over here, let's take a look from the really start. So right here, like dragons are a bit more clumped up, and they're gonna wait, and then like they're gonna like look to like punish this. So like they're pushing in. They notice that Shock don't have really a lot of cooldowns to use. So like they say, hey, we have an advantage. We're just gonna like destroy y'all. But like now that like they got a pick, now Shanghai are just gonna go much more aggressive. They're going to spread out. Like they're gonna go like this way, and like they're gonna have someone this way and try to like pincer, try to like keep them stuck in this general area, and like they're just gonna like close out the fight. As you can see, and this is a really important principle. When you get a pick, you often don't want to like press W. You want to like take the space that they can't control with like fewer players than you, and then you push in. And it's an important principle that I teach like all my DPS players, but it's a really important. Like you don't want to like just blindly press W into them. You want to like take the map control and then like aggress. Like you have time. It's not like they can kill you in like 5 seconds with like half a team. And this is just going to be this is just going to be like tragic for like Shock. They do kill Fate. Like yeah, let's take a look at Fate. Um but like this is by no means like a bad by Fate because like it's not ideal, but it's gonna like Fate's like was shooting Mora and was like zoning off the ult, which allows like his team to like just finish off the enemies who are like playing over here instead of like in this room. If they're playing in this room, then that's an easy target for Fleta. So like Fate was going in, he might have died because like his team was dealing with like other things and not peeling, but that's fine. Like that's what a main tank should do. They should look to push like so their team has like an advantage that they can like use. And after like a barrage, it's gonna and like literally this is essentially being like almost like only one team fight and 2 minutes have been burned off the clock. So over here, Glister's close to like EMP, but like this split positioning is gonna make things hard to like actually get advantage of this, take advantage of this EMP. Maybe like Shock just want to use it, don't want to like read it. They just want to like use it to like take space. Even that might be a use if you can't find anything like better to do it. Like you could use it like against this comp, probably not. Like you could try like EMP Fleta and like either burst him down or at least like you can rotate without like justice raining from above. But like against this really mobile comp, that's pretty tricky to pull off. So like before like Shaw can get good EMP, they have to like either force dragons together, which means they have to like get close, or like they have to like spread out, take map control, which is hard against this comp because they have so much poke and they have so many means of contesting your angles with like the Pharah, Mercy, and like the Diva. So right here, as you can see, they actually kill Nero. What was Nero doing? Like Nero's trying to stage, like Nero's trying to force the point, force like dragons to like peel back a bit, but like you know, like look, his team's not applying any pressure. So like dragons are just free to contest that angle. Like look, Diva can contest it, Pharah can contest it, even like Izayaki, like Ana can contest it. And that's just gonna derail this entire fight. Without Tracer, you don't have damage. And without damage, you can't get kills. Especially so early into the fight when no cooldowns have been forced. But instead of like just sitting there, like Shanghai are just going to push this. Like they see like they have a big advantage. Like without damage, it's hard to kill like players, especially once you force out the Sombra like that. So Shanghai are just gonna decisively push this. And Li Shengon is going for the kill. And like that's actually awesome. Well, it doesn't look like they did anything with this, but this kind of gives them time for them to kill Choyom. Well, was it after? Well, it does, like, kind of cut the help from Choyobin. But on the other hand, it also farms ult. Now, Li Jinggan popped out there. So, right here, they're gonna have EMP. And Shanghai can either do one of two things. They can either play passive, try to, like, hold back, try to, like, you know, instead of brawling into this, like, playing more aggressive with, like, you could try, like, Bongo and try to, like, just barrel into this. Like, that's an option. Could try to, like, play fast before Glister can set up. Or, like, could play slow and try to, like, not brawl, try to, like, hold back, try to, like, you know, stall as much as possible. Try to, like, you know, um, soften them up as much as possible because you can't really risk like getting EMP'd like here. So unless like you're going for like a really fast tempo play. So right here, like Shanghai still like know that they're still safe from EMP, so they still like poke. They're not, you know, putting no resistance. Cease your resistance. And like right here, Fate actually pops like they actually go for like almost a tempo play. Like they do allow Shock to rotate, but Fate's like Fate uses Fortify, even though like he like Shocker just rotating. So like this Fortify would normally be a bait. Like it would just like, you know, hey, we Fortify, whoop, we're just gonna go away. But like over here, like they're trying to use as many like they're trying to like actually like go fast here. Like they're trying to like use as many relevant cooldowns as possible and like try to finish the fight. So they're going for the tempo option before they're able to pull an EMP, and that's one way you can deal with EMP. You can go fast, use cooldowns before like they can even shut them down. Like it's easy, sounds easy, but like in general, like if you're not careful, then you're just gonna feed even harder. And this EMP gets Fade and Void. They do like they don't like they're probably gonna destroy the Bongo here. And like they use EMP, which gets Fade and Void, which isn't ideal because like they're tanks. You don't wanna like go for squishies. On the other hand, like I mean like, you know, hacking tanks, EMPing tanks, that's good because it prevents them from peeling. But like you don't want to like engage on tanks. That's what I mean. Like it's good to EMP tanks, but not like good to like engage on tanks because they're designed to absorb damage. They're tanks. So like let's take a look. So they're trying to like rush Fate here. But like in the process, we see how like Shanghai split approach like pays off here. So like Fate's like playing in a way that like, you know, they want like Shock they want Shock to like engage on him. They like Fate wants Shock to like try to like destroy the Bongo, but like in the process, they're gonna ignore like Fleta. They're gonna like open an opportunity for like either Nano Farah, in this case a Nano Diva, but like it will open like a lot of opportunities for like Dragons punish that, including like landing a nade. So like Choryobin, like right here, probably like tunnel visions as well. And they kill Fate, sure, but like this, like four-headed engage from Shock just like it gives Shanghai like the opportunity to use their angles. As you can see, let's look at how like Fleta manages his aggression. So when like Fleta might be like caught by the EMP, he knows that, so he's gonna try to like stay outside of range. But like once the EMP is gone and they committed on a target, remember this comp is really expensive to switch targets or to go on multiple at once unless they're pumped up. So now Fleta's just gonna like look to play a bit more closer, and then eventually he's just gonna look to like get close and personal. And like they popped the Valk, but again, not the Valk. I mean they popped the pull. Sorry, but again, it's just bad. So let's take a look at the final like fight probably. So over here, Scalper like fuck it, let's just go for that. Let's just engage. But like Shanghai are perfectly ready to just punish this. So like sure, if Super could try to like zone off like, you know, zone off like Izayaki, try to like distract them a bit. And like they could go to focus Fate, but first like Fate actually switched to like the Winston here, which is I think he just wanted to like get back quick. But like and like if one of the benefits is that if Fate gets pressured too hard, then he can just jump back and to like somewhere far away, and like Shock would not be able to like punish him that easily. So that's one advantage. But like Shock, they don't start the engage from a good position, and like you see, their backline's still like in the choke. So like Dragons, like they know that like since Super's already committed here and like a bun like, you know, Blister as well, it's safe to like just like aggress on the choke really hard. So that's what Fleta is gonna do. Like he does like play the cautious game a bit. And like but like this bad aggression means that like Dragons easily punish with their angles. But like we see again, like they're not scared. Not scared of this comp. They're fully willing to just like fight it head on if they find an opportunity. Once like they've either when they've committed or like either when Shock have committed on like, you know, someone who Dragons like have sent to bait, or like, you know, Dragons see like a big advantage to push. And like, you know, one thing great about Dragons is that like they see opportunities to push like when other teams don't. Like when like, you know, they know like when they have position and all, or like the enemy has used like cooldowns, or they have like, you know, someone away from the fight or dead, then they know like how to deal with that pick. That's one great thing about Dragons, which allows them to like hold against a comp that our teams have struggled with a lot. But Shanghai, like they're not even a sweat. Like this is just the disgusting defense. And despite a couple stagger, like you know, stagger stalls, it's just going to be easy win for Dragons. So anyways, that concludes part 1 of the perfect defense. In the next episode, we'll probably look at the Glads game and like, you know, the 2 maps, and yeah, like the 2 maps where Dragons just disgustingly held them. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this first episode of this what I hope to be exciting series.